Hey y'all, this is Kim with Creative Escapades. Welcome to my channel and thank you for joining me today. Let's jump right into our video and see what we can create. Oh y'all, I am so excited to show you this project that I'm going to be working on. I have already put my glitter and my first layer of epoxy on here. I used the Tack method to add my glitter, and that was with the Ailene's Tack It over and over. And I just brushed on the Tack It first, and then I used two different size glitters. In the first layer of the glitter that I used was this super fine glitter by Glitter Designs by 2. This is Glass Slipper. And so I put that down first and I let that dry. And then I added a second layer of the Tack It over and over and put a layer of this chunky glitter that is from Chimp. This is Tanzanite, and it is kind of a color shifting glitter. It's just absolutely beautiful. And then to make sure that I had a really good coat of glitter on the second layer, I added some more of the Glass Slipper along with that. Then I let it dry and did my first layer of resin. And now we are ready to add our temporary tattoo, which is in the design of a dragon. And I wanted to clean my cup off, make sure I didn't get any loose glitter on it. And just going to decide which way I want the dragon to go, as far as, do I want to trim it off at the top, do I want to trim it at the bottom, or maybe let it drape over the bottom or the bottom edge of the cup. And it's relatively easy. Supposedly this is the first time I've done a temporary tattoo on a tumbler, so it's going to be a good learning experience. But there is one thing that I have discovered, and it doesn't matter what kind of design that you're going to put on here, whether it's vinyl, water slide, or a temporary tattoo, trimming your design down very close to the edges is beneficial, because it doesn't leave all that extra that you have to try to work with, and make sure that it is flat against your cup as well. So I think what I want to do with this one is let it drape over the edge of the bottom of the cup. I think I'm going to like that best. So I'm not going to cut anything off. And I'm just going to peel off this protective film. It's a very thin film. And then the temporary tattoo is sticky with adhesive on it already. So once I lay this down, I've got to make sure that it's going to be exactly where I want it, because I can't shift it, I can't move it, I can't pick it up and reposition it. When it goes down, it's there to stay. So I'm going to put it right here, and then I'm just going to kind of start working it out. And the backer paper on the temporary tattoo is kind of stiff, so working with a curved surface is a little bit more challenging. And if I hadn't watched several tutorials on how to do this, I probably would be freaking out right now, because there are some places where it looks like there's going to be a wrinkle. but supposedly this works out just fine. You just add water to the back side of the paper, and then it will slide away from the temporary tattoo. So I'm going to add a cloth here to catch any excess water, and just going to do a little bit more smoothing out. And then I'm going to slowly start adding some water here and let it soak the back side of the backer paper or the carrier paper, whichever you prefer to call it. And as this paper becomes saturated with the water, it actually becomes more easy to work with and get it to lay down flat and work those wrinkles down so that you're getting a good contact with between the cup and the temporary tattoo. So I'm just going to keep working it, and I can feel it starting to slide just a little bit, but I want to make sure I get this bottom part down over the edge of the cup and then adhere to the bottom. A little bit more water, and then I can feel it moving, and it just slides right off. And that, I've got to tell you, that was so simple. This is even more simple than the water slides. This is great. And there's really nowhere on here that I see a wrinkle in the tattoo itself. So it looks great. Let me move the camera up so you can see. Look at that. Oh my gosh, I love it. This was great. There's a little spot right there. I need to make sure that it was touched down against the tumbler. Don't want to do too much touching or trying to move it at all because I don't want to tear the tattoo. Oh, I love this. The sparkle of the glitter is shining through. You can see underneath the dragon and all the flowers and everything. It's gorgeous. I love it. I love it. I love it. So the next thing that I'll do is put a layer of clear matte spray on the tattoo itself and let that dry, and then I will put I'm going to cut the name out of the young lady that I'm planning on giving this to, and I'm going to use holographic vinyl for that, and I'll put it on the back side, and then once I get that done, I'll put a top layer of resin over all of it again. So we will let this set for just a little bit, and I'm going to work on getting the name on now. So I've got it cut out. My children were so wonderful to me for Christmas. They gave me a Cricut Explorer Air 2. So that's what I used to cut the name out on the holographic vinyl. And I chose this color because I thought it would really bring the pink out on the front side with the dragon. It would just maybe kind of make it pop more. And so I'll make sure I get it directly on the opposite side of the dragon. And I think I am going to go from the top to the bottom, but first thing we have to do is weed away the excess vinyl that we don't need. So I'm just going to slowly and gently start pulling the excess vinyl off of the carrier paper. And make sure that I don't accidentally pull up any of the letters or rip anything, that would be a disaster. And this is coming up very easily. So there we have it. Now I need to do just a little bit more weeding and get those centers out of the letters. There we go. It was a little bit easier just to use my hands than it was to use the weeding tool, but now I have this transfer tape and I'm going to put it over the top of it, and I'm going to make sure that it gets rubbed on there really well. I'm just going to use the opposite end of my tool and run over it, and then start pulling it away. And if I see that it's not coming away from the backer paper, then I'm just using the end to burnish it just a little bit more to make sure that it adheres to the transfer tape. Just a little bit more. The Y is giving me a little bit of trouble on the curl, but there, I think I've got it. Slowly. There, got it. Look how pretty that is. That's going to look so pretty on this cup. So I want to make sure that I get it on here just right. I want to make sure that it is straight. So this part of the video is probably going to be boring, but it's important that you get it centered on your cup and that you get it straight on there. So eyeballing this, and I don't want it to all lay down at one time. I really kind of want it just to touch the center of the transfer tape and the vinyl. And once I have it, that center part making contact with the tumbler, then I will work it out from the center out to the edges, since we're on the curved surface. I need to make sure that center part doesn't have any air bubbles, and then I can work it out from the center up and the center down to make sure that we get a very smooth, flat surface. You don't want to leave anywhere that could possibly allow the resin to get up under the edge of your vinyl, because it will lift it, and then you'd have to try to fix it, either add another layer of resin, and you probably would still be able to see it if it's lifted. Making sure that I have no air bubbles under there. Just going over every bit of the vinyl to make sure that it is laying down. Not too much worried about the transfer tape itself. Just want to make sure that the vinyl is laying flat. And then slowly I'm going to pull the transfer tape away. I don't want to go too fast, just in case there's somewhere that the vinyl is not completely adhered to the cup. And we did it. And I'm going to take this piece of piece of transfer tape and lay it back on the carrier paper because it can be used again. And that's always a plus. And here is the cup. Let's raise the camera a little bit. With the name on it. Oh, I love it. Look at that. That is so cool. That sparkle is just crazy. And the name matches, the color of the name matches the flowers on the front. I love this cup. So we're going to get a layer of resin on here, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Here it is. And the top layer of the resin just made all those colors just pop, and it turned out really great. The young lady that I gave it to loves it, which thrills my heart, and I'm so glad. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I want to say working with the temporary tattoos are great. If you haven't tried it and you want to, I would say go for it. So if you've enjoyed the video, please click like and share. If you have any comments or questions, leave them below. You make my channel grow when you do all that. If you haven't subscribed yet, you can do that now. Ring that bell. You'll get notified when I upload future videos. And I want to thank you for joining me in this one. And I hope to see you in my next